Morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-show. Eventually, uh, assuming you can even see this yet, I never know when you actually have access to the feed. I'm here starting very late because nothing works anymore. My printer didn't work. My printer with the new cartridge of toner didn't work. My printing to a different printer for some reason didn't work for two different reasons at the same time. So none of my efforts to actually print out any of the stuff that I wanted to talk about in the pre-show actually worked. So I scrambled to get a few links ready to go on my iPad, and just sort of mad about the world and my place in it and all of that. Today's not going well. So I considered just calling it off. I almost canceled. Obviously, I hate to break the streak that we've had of successful pre-shows. And you'd probably think that I was like kidnapped or something, but yeah, thank you for noticing the haircut. That's the only thing that's working for me. My hair trimmer still works, but I can't get printers to actually work. So anyway, we'll see if we talk about any news. Thank you, those of you who are here. Many people probably gave up on the pre-show actually starting, so maybe we'll see them tomorrow if the magic's not gone. But how's everyone doing? Today's a Tuesday. That means that we get, a new rotating co-host on the Damage Report. Today, we have, hey Gabby, how's it going? We have Dan Evans. So Dan is going to be back. He is visiting us from the internet. And I have tried to put together all the things that I know he wants to talk about. So obviously I know he wants to talk about what's going on with Israel and Palestine. He wants to talk about Elon Musk, which we're going to do very minorly, because we did talk about him a little bit yesterday. And we've got some awful out-of-touch people, and I think he's going to enjoy it. Also, Andrew Yang. So that's going to be fun. So stay tuned for that a little bit later on. Feisty Fan says it's okay to not be okay. Thank you. No, I'm okay. It's very frustrating when, like, you put together all this stuff and you want to do it. I just need to print it. So it says to put in a new toner cartridge. So I did that, and then I just kept saying it. So I don't know what it actually wants. Help me help you. I don't know what it needs. I hate printing things now. I wish, like, if I could get to a point where it's natural to just read all of this off of the iPad, that would be preferable. I'm going to show this to you. This is behind the scenes information. Now, you need to understand that this is the collected printings of months of the pre-show. But, and I will use the other side, but that is a lot of paper. You know, that's probably like 5 months of doing the pre-show, but that's a lot of paper. So maybe switching over to the iPad's not a bad idea. Sarah, thank you for your super chat. It did redact your message. I'm not sure why. No, I think I turned it off and turned it back on again. Zane says, it's okay when stuff doesn't work out, life happens. Thank you. It does not have a ready button. No, it's saying I need to do a new printer cartridge or whatever. Okay, well, let's pretend as if we weren't in some sort of tech-apocalypse. What would I talk about potentially? Well, I might talk about the fact that Ted Cruz decided to take a hearing that was going on about ghost guns and make it about his own stupid bullshit. So, if you don't know, ghost guns are basically a way, there's multiple aspects of this. Some has to do with sort of like models being shared, 3D printers, things like that. But basically, it's a way of home making a firearm without having a traceable serial number. So that means that it's more difficult to find out where people got the guns and all of that stuff. So, seems like, look, if you're going to have any regulation on guns, being able to figure out where guns came from and stuff, that seems like a pretty good one. But no, Ted Cruz isn't going to allow for literally any of this. Not because he cares. Like, honestly, if you think that Ted Cruz is just like, in the middle of his day, he's thinking, I wish I could be shooting a gun right now. No, I don't think, didn't he go to Harvard or Yale? I don't think that's what he's thinking about, but he has to pretend to care about this stuff. So he says, there's nothing special about ghost guns. They're just homemade firearms. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing weird about them. Well, there's something weird about you defending them this much. Why are you fighting for the right of people to produce untraceable guns? But advocates of aggressive gun control rely on ignorance to scare people. Again, he doesn't know fuck all about guns. He's talking about the ignorance of people. This is what they're always going to do. And by the way, I'm all for people knowing as much as possible, becoming more inquisitive about the world, and continuing a lifelong process of growth and the ever never-ending seeking of information. That said, the idea that this is the party that's for them. I mean, come on. And one of my favorite jokes that's come out of this is when, so the right thought that because someone, I guess, said that the AR and AR-15 stood for assault rifle, that proves that the other side doesn't know anything, and thus gun control is necessary, which is massively, doesn't make any sense. But now I love that every time gun control is in the news, people on the left pretend that it stands for assault rifle because they know that it freaks the right out. But anyway, yeah, so he says, if Democrats want to stop gun violence, let's have a hearing on how the move to defund the police is causing more homicides. So the hearing wasn't about defunding the police. None of the senators in the room support defunding the police. And like what? Because someone tweeted defund the police, someone else is like, I'm gonna kill a cop. I don't think that's actually what happened. So Senator Richard Blumenthal began to respond to that, and Cruz left the room. So he doesn't want to have that conversation that he says he wants to have. He wants to get his line in or whatever and then leave. Like, right-wing politicians are just uglier members of the right-wing media apparatus. Like, if they had better hair, they'd host a show on Fox. But they don't, so they run for office. That's literally the only difference. You stand up, you say your stupid line, and then you leave, and you get paid by the same billionaires. That's the only difference at this point. They're just saying shit for their viewers. That's all it is. Ted Cruz doesn't care about the people who have died or will die. If some terrorist uses a ghost gun or blah, blah. I don't know. Like, he doesn't care about any of this. Wayne says, reenact that scene in Office Space. It feels great. That's a good point, actually. That would make me feel a little bit better right now. But I'd probably be fired because it's 2IT property. John Maddow Hall says, been in the computer field for 50 years. I might be able to help you. By the way, what happened with your beer stein and your penguin? My penguin? My big penguin cup? My beer stein is at home. Which penguin? Ryan says, 3D printed guns are making the idea of ghost guns unmanageable by restricting means to create them. While it is a problem, we should put emphasis on mental health and enforce restrictions on holding. Well, see, that's fine. But the thing is, right-wingers who might say that same exact thing don't want to do literally anything about mental health, providing funding or resources or anything like that. People who have sort of like documented signs of instability, predisposition to violence and stuff like that, sort of that's the outgrowth of the mental health crisis. They still want those people to have guns. And they want people to be able to carry around guns without permits. Like, they want to lessen the amount of how difficult it is to get it. So in theory, that is how you would have time to figure out if a person has mental health problems that might lead to violence with guns. They don't actually care. Like, you may be seriously making that point. That is not what they are doing. Oh my God, my iPad is freaking out right now. It's going to be too hard to explain, but it looks like someone in a video thumbnail is slapping a woman over and over and over again. A nurse, actually, is slapping a woman. Mayor Hooker-Meyer says, I'm surprised the gun manufacturers are not going after these ghost guns. They're losing money, so where are they? That's not a bad point, actually. Daenerys says, got my first Pfizer yesterday, and my Microsoft 5G ThoughtStream BrainLink is lagging. Does the second shot give the full functionality? Probably, but you might have to go into a Genius bar to get further shots. Always Dragon says, here you are. Many were, the other TDR, waiting for pre-show, glad to find you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. Okay, what time is it? It's probably freaking crazy. Oh my God, it's 9:36 already. Oh God, this day is not going my way. Okay. I just want to read one line from this. Tucker Carlson complaining about something that Fauci said or whatever. But anyway, the funny part is this. So Fauci said something about, the seasonal wearing of masks continuing or something. So Carlson loses his mind. By the way, bear in mind, Tucker Carlson early on in the pandemic got credit for telling people to wear masks and socially distance. He said, "Of course they work. Who nobody says that they don't." No, well, he's saying that now, and he has been for months. But he says here, a year or two from now. In other words, never. Well, in other words, a year or two from now. You're never taking off the mask. Get ready for a lifetime of filthy, wet cotton covering your mouth, reduced oxygen flow to your brain, and a world where every stranger looks the same because no one has a face. First of all, you can still see a good bit of their face, and there's other ways to differentiate yourself based on appearance other than just the lower portion of your face. But anyway, second of all, dude, wash your mask, seriously. Why is your mask filthy all the time? You can have more than one. You can wear disposable ones. It's a bit wasteful, but you could wash your mask and reduced oxygen flow to your brain. Were you wearing a mask when you wrote this monologue? That's not generally an issue. That's what dumb anti-maskers say. It's that I pass out because I can't. Brain surgeons wear it. Like, this is a thing that people do. So he's gone from obviously wear your mask, that nobody would question that. How dare you assert that anyone would question that, to it's an imposition on your constitutional freedoms to wear a mask, to now, I don't know, I'm going to go yell at some worker in Panera. I'm that person now. We've had the full evolution of Tucker Carlson on masks because he doesn't know how to throw his in the wash. Janet says, resent the Twitter DJ Pop-Tart Lunchbox beam to you. Also sent you a gift and you should get it soon. Okay, well, I'll check that on Twitter. And thank you, Gemstar Dragon. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. Lisa says, a few days after my second Pfizer, my phone company texted me and said, surprise, you get free 5G. Not kidding. Well, they clearly contacted CBS. And they knew what you were up to. Okay, I don't know how much time we have left, so I'm just going to jump to the last story. I'm just very frustrated right now. Thank you for dealing with me. I will tell you this. We don't need to print out anything for the full show. Dan Evans will be joining me. We've got an awesome full rundown. We're going to be talking about the devastating news coming out every few minutes from Palestine. We've got a discussion about Andrew Yang. Oh, we got a fun segment of quick reactions to random headlines. So I think Dan is going to have fun with that. So we're going to touch on a lot of different stuff there. And then near the end, we're going to get to make fun of people who went to a Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Greene rally. So you know that's going to be fun. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Anyway, Donald Trump had an insane... I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it. So really fast. I would have loved to have had a full discussion about this, but Rand Paul, technically a doctor, it never really seems to help. Like, he's one of the few who has medical training, and yet seems to not know anything more than a random Louis Gohmert might. So he was talking with Dr. Fauci, and he was talking about how it's weird because, like, he wants to talk, the basic idea of his thing, and you can go watch the video, is Dr. Fauci killed us because Dr. Fauci and the US government funded some sort of research in Wuhan that produced this megavirus. But at the same time, he keeps undercutting his point by implying that it's really not that dangerous, not nearly as dangerous as other things, but still, if it is dangerous, it's because of you. But the crux of it isn't just his confusion about fatality rates and mortality rates and all of that. It's the idea that Dr. Fauci funded the creation of superviruses. Now, for a normal person, you might think, wait, what? What are you talking about? Well, you need to understand that people online, like from a year ago, started talking about the Wuhan lab and US funding for it. And these people have had a lot of time and a lot of access to the internet. And so things have really developed and the plot has thickened from there. So now, a year later, we haven't been tracking this, but they believe some truly insane MCU level of connected theories of different people and groups, and they saw one sentence taken out of context from some medical journal or something, and so they believe that Bill Gates funded creating super AIDS or something. The exact details don't matter because it's nonsense, except that a senator, Rand Paul, has done a poor read of it and is now bringing it into the halls of Congress. And so he goes back and forth with Dr. Fauci about what was funded and what was not. And Fauci asserts that The fact that Paul believes this, the fact that he's gotten, that there's these scientists who've signed on to a letter or something that weren't involved in the actual research, believe something, doesn't mean that it's true. The issue is that because this is a senator, it's going to get play, and people are going to wonder. Like, you have Fauci on the one hand, you have a senator on the other. Who's actually right? Well, when you have crazy people allowed to ask questions in these official contexts, that's a danger, that you could come out of it with misinformation. And I worry that coming out of this, people will. Or that they will have their curiosity piqued about these insane conspiracy theories, and so they will go and they will look for them. And because there's no actual information there's nothing to it, there are thus no official bits of information about it. Maybe a fact check from Daniel Dale or something like that. Or maybe PolitiFact, but I don't even think. And so all the information they'll get will be the ramblings of insane people online. So that's an issue. That's an issue. Anyway, we have basically no time because I have wrecked everything and ruined everything, and I'm the worst. I apologize. And I deserve all of the clocks you're throwing at me right now. Jen says, I don't really have much to say, but I want to thank John Maddock-Hall for his invaluable contribution to the creation of Linux. I did not actually know that. That's awesome. Sarah says, was hoping we could share the hashtag of #1World1Vax on main show and get it trending to demand patient waivers from our leaders. Life-saving vaxes aren't IP. Well, I certainly agree about that. And thank you. Okay, everybody. No, I see that the time is here. Man, this is the shortest pre-show in forever. Look, I apologize. I will try to make it up to you with an awesome full show. I'll be joined by Den Evans, so hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. You can stay here. You can go to twitch.tv/TYT, and we'll see you soon.